evening. Registers here. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Test. Hey, Gavin, can you turn it up just a little bit? Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Good morning, everybody. So a lot of you guys have already taken a dual credit class last semester. However, there's a lot of good information that you're going to need to know if you run into an issue with a hold on your account, or if there's an issue with not getting the parental consent in. So there is good information for you guys as well. And so I have our contacts from WSU Tech here, and they're going to walk you through that process. Do I have any students here who have not taken a dual credit class yet? Okay. I will be stopping by tomorrow in all the ELA and as well as Mrs. Segovia's classes to help each of those classes enroll. However, if you have questions, you can see me at lunch any of the days, and I'll definitely help walk you through this process. All right.
Thank you. Hello, my name's Ashton Waltrip. I'm the Assistant Director of High School Advising for WSU Tech, and I'm also the person in charge of enrolling everybody for Valley Center High School. So I'm going to be your guys' contact through everything. So when you came in, you guys all got a little bifold. That is the resource for you guys to use when you get to a period later where you can complete this work, or when you get home if you want to have somebody help you out with it. That is your resource. It also has an email address to contact my team, to where we can help you out with anything that you need to know. But I'm gonna walk through that whole process up here today, so that when you do get to the point to where you're doing it on your own, you kind of have a little bit of a reference for it. So the front page is the one that is black, just so you guys know what we're looking at. And Michelle, can you bring me one? Because I totally forgot that I kind of wanted to look at it too. So in this group, we have students who are taking general education classes, and then we have students who are taking the tech ed. Is that right? Okay. So if you are in one of Mr. Dahl's or Mr. LeDuc's classes, those are going to be considered technical education, and those are free of tuition. You don't have to pay for those. If you are taking any class that is not taught by one of those two, that is a reduced rate tuition course, and that is going to be this $80 per credit hour that you're seeing on this page. So most classes are either 3 credit hours or 5 credit hours. When you sign up for it, it will tell you what that is. This is a flat $80 per credit hour rate. There are no extra fees. There's nothing else you're going to pay except for $80 per credit hour. So you don't have to try to figure out any other hard math other than that. So at the top of this page, the little QR code, that is going to help you with transferability. So WSU Tech is a part of the Kansas Board of Regents, along with other colleges you might recognize like Wichita State, Butler, KU, K-State, state schools, basically. So if you're interested to transfer these credits to one of those schools, that QR code website will help you figure out if the class you're taking is actually going to go there. Because I do not want you guys to take something thinking it's going to transfer somewhere and help you out in the future, and then it potentially doesn't. And then somebody gets upset, and we want to try to figure that out first so we can figure out what we need to do if that's not actually what you're looking to do. If you are looking for out of state, so you know for a fact you want to go to Oklahoma, Missouri, something like that, the best way to figure out if this stuff is going to transfer is to contact that school. So say you want to go to Oklahoma State, you're going to go to the Oklahoma State website and look for their transfer, okay? I can also help out with that if you really can't find it, but just so you know, if it's out of state, best way to do it is kind of start backwards. Look at the place you're wanting to transfer and see if they'll take our stuff. So we're gonna open up to the middle, and this is what you're gonna see me going through on the screen as well. So step one is getting started. So you're gonna go to myjumpstart.wsutech.edu, which is the screen we are on right now. If you took a class with WSU Tech in August 2021, so August, the semester we just had, that whole semester, August 2021 to December 2021, you've probably done this before. If you took a class the year before that and skipped the August semester, you've never done this before, okay? If you did it but skipped this fall semester, this is basically a new enrollment system instead of the paper ones that we used to have you guys fill out. So you still have to make one of these accounts, and it's gonna merge with that other account, okay? It's not gonna create two, it'll just meet up with the other one. So you guys are going to click high school student. It's already logged in as me. I was trying to make it go faster, and then it turns out I just made it more complicated. So you're gonna click high school student. If you really don't know if you've done it before, just try to log in. Okay? Or if you know for a fact you haven't done it before, click Start New. If you've done it before and you have no idea what your password is or you forgot, the forgot password has you send an email, and it's super, super easy to adjust that. So if you were to click Start New Application, go through, it is super basic information. We made it as easy as possible. We took out all the nonsense we don't need. Please make sure that you're making your first name and your last name the first letter uppercase, because your name probably has an uppercase letter. If it doesn't, that's cool, but most of you guys, your first name is, the first letter is uppercase. If you don't do it, I have to fix it, and that's just like more work. So we're gonna go through, we do need your social security number, so make sure that you have that when you're ready to start this, because this isn't something we can save and come back to later, so just make sure you already have it when you're starting it. For email, we do have a note to use a personal email. Sometimes our systems send an email that gets blocked if it's a district email, but just to keep a note there, go through birthday, phone number, all that fun stuff. High school, obviously we're gonna drop down, we're gonna choose Valley Center High. The grade that you are currently in, and then your graduation. So if you're graduating in May of, like you're a senior, you're gonna put 05-2022. And then complete filling it out with parent or guardian information, and then click that you typed it all right as far as you're aware, and hit submit form and continue. So once you have done all of that, it will take you to this screen. So this is your portal. So now we are on step 2 inside of your bifold. If you have not done this yet this semester, this enrolling classes is going to be highlighted red for you, saying like, hey, click me right here. This is where you're looking. So we're going to click enrolling classes. And of course it signed me out because I knew it was going to. So we're just going to pretend that didn't happen. I'm going to log back in really quick. And we're going to use our example student whose name is Daisy Duck, because we're all old and that was the funniest thing we could think of. You guys are supposed to laugh when I tell jokes. Okay, so we click enrolling classes. It will automatically pop up saying that your high school is Valley Center High School. Everything that is offered within Valley Center High School taught by one of your teachers that you are in this room for right now is going to show up on this list. So say you are signing up for Biology 1 with Segovia, make sure you check the time that you go to that class, okay? It's very possible that some of these classes will be listed on here 2 or 3 times. So you need to make sure that you're clicking the appropriate time that you're in there. If you're taking multiple classes, just go through and click the ones that you are taking. I will let you know if you click this one right here and try to go to page 2 to click the next thing, it might forget what you clicked on page 1. So if you want to sign up for that one, go ahead and click enroll for selected. It's gonna say you successfully added this class. You say okay. and then go check page 2. Because sometimes it doesn't remember what you clicked. So you're gonna go through and click everything that you are taking all at the same time. So let's just go ahead and add a few more classes on here just so you can see what it's gonna look like. Okay, so the next thing that you're going to do, up here on My Classes, you're gonna click that. And it's gonna show the classes that we just clicked. You can see over here on the right, it says Applied. That means that you just clicked it and we're waiting on a few things to happen. So I'm gonna scroll down and kind of talk about what these different statuses mean. So applied means that we are waiting for someone to take action. A lot of these classes do require some sort of placement test score or something like that where your counselors are going to come in and approve you enrolling in it based on ACT scores or placement or something like that. So if it says approved, it means that it has gone through the counselor and they say, yep, that's the right class. At that point, my team comes in and we start processing enrollment. Now, look at how many people are in this room and the likelihood that some of you guys are taking 2 or 3 classes. That's a lot of stuff to process, right? And it's just one high school that we work with. So I'm gonna ask you super, super nicely to please be patient because this could take a week to 10 days to process, okay? So if you're getting antsy about it, just come in and check the status. And if it says applied for a while, maybe come in and check your email because maybe we might have sent you something saying we're missing something. Once we have gone through the applied, your school has approved it and we've enrolled you, it's gonna say registered. And just in case you haven't logged in to check it, we're also gonna send you an email that says you've been registered. So you're gonna get told when we're done with our process. It is possible that it is going to say application not processed. That is because I'm potentially missing something. So I might need to relook at some placement test scores. You might have a hold on your account. So if you've taken a class before that you had to pay for, and maybe you didn't make that payment because it skipped your mind or something like that, that is how we're gonna tell you that there's some sort of action you need to take. So if we see that there's a hold on the account and you guys owe tuition, it's gonna say application not processed. And in that case, you're going to check your email because when we put a note in, it sends you an email, and it sends you a text, and it sends your guardian an email. Okay, so you're gonna get notified if we need something from you. So what's the next thing? Uploading supporting documents. So that would be if you have ACT scores that you wanna put in there, if you wanna put your transcript in there, something like that. All you would do over here on the left is click supporting documents. You're going to choose the file off of your computer. This term is the term that we're currently enrolled in, so even though it's -7 outside, it is spring of 2022. I heard some people laugh, thank you, I appreciate that. And you're gonna click upload file. And so that would be uploading supporting documents. Not all classes are gonna require this, but if your class does, or if you have a copy of your ACT scores, just throw them in there. Makes everybody's life easier. Scooching on to number 4, parental consent. So you can see that is right here. So what this means, these classes, even if some of you may be 18 years old, you are still high school students. So we do require a parent or a guardian to sign off and say it is okay for you to take college classes, especially if it is not a free course, if it is a course that you have to pay for. Because if you are a minor and you do not pay your bill, we cannot send you to collections, and collections can't come and say, give me the money. But if you do not pay your bill, we can send a guardian that information. So we will not be able to enroll you in your course until this parental consent is done. So that might be something that if you come in and check your status and it says application not processed, you would likely have been sent an email that says you need to complete your parental consent. This is super easy. The name and the email come right off that application that you guys filled out, and you click send. And all that does is that sends your guardian an email, they click a link, and they do a little signature thing. So it's super, super easy. This absolutely has to be done before we can process anything. Moving on to the other side, but it doesn't have a number, it says FERPA on it. FERPA is an optional agreement that myself and all of your counselors and a lot of people highly recommend that you fill out. So do you guys know what HIPAA is at your doctor's office? maybe. So it means that your medical records are protected. Nobody at your doctor's office can tell anybody about your medical records except for the person you say, yep, you can tell them. FERPA is the college version. So if you take a class, only you can know information about that class. Only you can know if you're successfully enrolled, if you have a balance, what your grade is, what your attendance is. You guys are the only ones who can find that stuff out, unless you complete the FERPA agreement. Now, I said if you have a balance, right? How many of you are kind of hoping that like a guardian's gonna pay for this, not you? Yeah, if you want that to happen, you have to do this. Otherwise, they're not gonna be able to pay it. Because our business office, the first thing that they're gonna ask once they figure out who you are is they're gonna look and see if this is done. So if you want somebody else to pay for this class, you have to do the FERPA. And yeah, so what it does, parent or guardian name, you have to create an identifier code. It doesn't have to be anything super fancy. It's just gonna be 5 characters. 3 of them are gonna be numbers, 2 of them are gonna be letters. You can kind of see a couple examples that some people had done before, like AA111. You really don't have to like have that thing memorized, because all we're gonna do is look in here and see who you set it for. So if somebody at home calls me and says, hey, has Daisy Duck paid her bill? First thing I'm gonna do is come look on Daisy Duck's account and see if the FERPA was completed. If it isn't completed, I'm gonna say, I'm sorry, I cannot tell you any information. Your student's gonna have to call me. Sometimes parents and guardians don't like hearing that, so to save me from having to have that conversation, also do this. Number 5 is that registration status. We already talked about that, where you can click on enrollment status and see over here on the left. And then number 6 is payment. This one is super important. So you know how I said on the status, you'll see if it says applied, and how that means we haven't done anything with it yet. And if it says approved, it means my team hasn't enrolled you yet. Not until it says registered will you be able to make a payment, okay? So before you call or send an email and say, how do I make a payment? You need to come on here and check your registration status. And if it says anything other than registered, hold the brakes, do not call yet, okay? There's 3 options to pay. You can pay online through your WSU Tech student portal. Once you complete the application, you get an automatic email with login information for that. The second option is to call our business office and pay over the phone. There are about 4 of them, and there's about 500 of you guys, so please be patient with them as well. If you call them, you absolutely have to leave a voicemail if they don't answer. They're not gonna call you back if you just call and hang up, okay? So leave a voicemail with your information and what you're looking for, and they'll call you back. The other option is to go into 2 of our campuses, either the WSU Tech NCAT, which is the closest to you guys on Webb Road by Jabara Airport. You can pay in person there, or you can pay in person at WSU South, okay? On the back, some information about our pathway to a university, so you can go on to wstech.edu/shocker pathway and start looking at basically our option to be the 2-year community college that you potentially go to before going to your 4-year. So that page has a ton of information on what WSU wants. So say you want to go to Wichita State and go to Frank Barton School of Business, you can look on the Frank Barton School of Business and see exactly what classes you should be taking. So you can make sure that you're taking them here, or maybe you can add them into your spring schedule online or at night or over the summer. So utilize that tool if you're kind of curious what else you could possibly do to get to your 4-year. In the middle, there's some typical tuition for a 3-credit-hour course, so you can just look at the amount of money you would be spending if you hadn't taken it through WSU Tech. And then contacting us. So we have about enrollment is hsadmissions@wsutech.edu, and then for billing. If you send an email to either of those places, please make sure you include your personal information and the kind of stuff you're looking for. Don't just be like, hi. Say, I go to Valley Center. This is my name. This is what I'm looking for. All right, so with that, does anybody have any questions? I'll also be hanging out if you're not a public speaker like me and don't want to like yell in front of everybody. What's up?
If you enrolled in a class last semester and you're doing a new one, do you have to do a credit consent form again?
That's a great question. Yes, you have to do a parental consent form for every semester you take classes, but you only have to do FERPA once. That's good. Anybody else? There's too many of you. I'm too close. I can't see everybody. Okay, well, if you guys do have questions, hang out. We've got Michelle back here who can help answer some. I can help answer some, and Mrs. Allen as well. Thank you, guys.
Okay, there are two things that I do want to reiterate. One was a great question because I wanted to stress the biggest issue that I see on my end and that I will be bugging kids about is not getting the parental consent signed. Because I try not to approve it on my end until everything's ready to go and I know it's going to be easy for WSU Tech. So do get your parental consent signed. As soon as you send it, text or call your parent and say, hey, you should be getting an email. Make sure you approve that, okay? If you're having issues with it, just let me know. The other thing that I wanted to stress is that if you have already taken a class and you think you might have a bill, it needs to be paid off. Let's say right now you're like, I can't pay it all off right now, and you're in college credit senior English or college credit government or college credit speech. Those classes need to be everybody enrolled in the dual credit. So if you cannot pay your bill, we just have to change you to a different class, okay? It's okay, but I do need to know that. All right? Okay. I am not sending you back to class. There's only 4 minutes left. If you do think of questions, definitely see Ashton, and I'm so sorry I did not catch Michelle over there. You can ask me, but those two are definitely more knowledgeable for this. All right? Thank you. All right, I had a good question just asked to me. Somebody had asked, when is all of this due? My goal is by Friday, next Friday. What is that, the 14th? I want to have everybody enrolled and ready to go. All right. Any other questions? Right? No other questions? All right, I'll give you a couple minutes.